up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up, get up, get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TPP Frontline. I am your host, Christopher Billings, alongside my broadcast colleague, Landon Miles, who was actually out with a staph infection last week.
Yeah, it's really good to be back. Tell everybody, try not to get one of those. They're not fun. I was cut open twice in 1 week. Not fun at all. But I'm glad to be back here.
It definitely doesn't sound like it'd be too fun to have a staph infection, and we did miss you on Frontline last week, and you missed a whole lot of stuff that was going down, but tonight I'm sure that it's going to be a crowd pleaser, as it sounds like we're being interrupted here. I'm hearing Die Hard's theme song, so I'm assuming Die Hard's going to grace us with his presence. And actually, I'm looking up at the stage now, and it looks like Die Hard is not alone tonight. It looks like he might be coming down with all of TCO, James Braden, Scythe, and Bryson. So I don't know. We're getting so close to TPP Reckoning, and the title tournament's coming to an end here, and it's just things are getting pretty intense.
Man, you think these guys coming to the ring right here? You think they wouldn't bring the tool along with them?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. As you see, Bryson currently the only member of TCO that holds gold. He holds the Internet Championship. He's the only one, and he's the only one dressed in wrestling gear here. But it looks like Die Hard's got a microphone in hand, so I'm assuming that he's got something to say. So I guess let's cut to ringside and see what Die Hard's got on his mind.
As you all see, TCO standing in the ring with me, the group that has single-handedly revolutionized the power plant. And this man standing right to my right, Scythe, the future TPP champion. Now, Bryson, he got eliminated. Unfortunately for you, Bryson, you got eliminated by Cerberus. It happens. And James Braden, you get eliminated. And I am well aware that Scythe is the final chance for us to get into that title match at Reckoning. But I can guarantee you this, Scythe, I have faith in you. We all have faith in you in TCO. We all know that you will become the next TPP champion. So why don't you step up and show this TPP universe, or tell them what you plan on doing tonight.
Well, Die Hard, I feel as though against Cinnamon Buns, I will have to aim for a certain ligament, if it were. As you see, he's a big man, and I feel as though I am confident that I will go through, and I know that you and TCO are confident that I will go through. However, these fans, these troglodytes, they do not think that I will go through. Quite frankly, they think that Cinnamon Buns will go through. So, I think I might have to prove some people wrong. So, Cinnamon Buns, tonight, you will be the only person that is going to be bound for Hades.
Oh, Scythe. I know I have faith in you and this TPP universe. They will learn to trust you, Scythe. However, on to Jordan Moore. See, you have a match tonight. You have a match against a man in this ring right now. Now, see, you already wrestled James Braden. Unfortunately for James, he wasn't able to get it done. But this man to my left, Bryson, he's not afraid of you, and he will beat you. But here's the thing, Jordan. Your matchup is up next. So I recommend that you start heading out here, because this referee is going to start a 10 count in about 60 seconds. So you have about 60 seconds to get out here. So good luck, because Bryson is going to tear you apart.
I can't believe what we're hearing. Scythe and Die Hard are both guaranteeing that Scythe is going to win tonight against Cerberus and continue on, through the TPP title tournament and to go on to Reckoning to become the TPP champion. But now we find out Jordan Moore is facing Bryson next, and that's big. That's big news.
It's okay. I don't think we have to worry about Bryson winning tonight.
As much as I want to agree with that, he is a trained professional. He's been wrestling for a couple of years, and he knows the ins and outs. I just think sometimes he gets a little, overconfident or, gets distracted easily. And I don't know. This is going to be one heck of a way for him to really decide if he's got to shape up or not, because he's facing a former TPP champion, a former hardcore champion, former United States champion, one of the only men in TPP. Jordan Moore's the only man in TPP, my correction on that, the only man in TPP to ever hold every single championship. Not even Die Hard has done that.
Do you think the off time might have put him in a little hole or something, since Jordan hasn't been here in quite some time? You think that might put him a little rusty, ring rust?
Well, I don't know. I mean, based on what we saw from him on Strike Zone, when he faced James Braden, he didn't look like he missed a single beat. And so I'm curious to know how he's going to react to Bryson. I don't think he's ever competed against Bryson, so this is going to be a unique environment for both Jordan and Bryson. These guys have never faced each other. They weren't trained, or they didn't train with Die Hard at the same time. Jordan Moore trained, and this is shades of what Jordan did to James Braden. Got out of the ring at the beginning of the match, playing the mind games. But for Bryson, he trained with Die Hard after Die Hard had already retired out of in-ring action. But people like Jordan Moore and James Braden, and even a little bit of Jerry Graham, those guys, and even like Brick Wall, or people like Brandon Lee, those guys trained with Die Hard right when Die Hard was still actively competing, and he was still wrestling for titles. So I think it's a different kind of mindset, training with Die Hard pre-retirement and post-retirement.
I guess it makes some sort of sense.
Well, as you see, Bryson going for cover, but not even getting a 1 count after that side headlock takedown on Jordan Moore, and going back to the well, another side headlock takedown again, going for the cover, not even a 1 count. And size-wise, Bryson has the advantage. He's almost 260 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", but Jordan Moore's got athleticism and speed, and he's got strength. He's no stranger to taking on bigger guys, and so for Jordan, this is kind of, maybe it's just a stroll in the park, I don't know, but for Bryson, he's got to come up with a plan, because if he doesn't, then Jordan Moore is going to be able to capitalize and take full advantage of the shortcomings of Bryson.
Yeah, I think Jordan's got what it takes. I mean, he was also there when the TCO realm was going on, so he knows his body's ready for this. For the fact, I'm pretty sure he was still training and stuff even in his off time, because you look at him and he's in physical fit condition. It seems like he hasn't lost any type of muscle in him. He looks good. He looks good.
He looks really great, and like you said, it had been almost 2 years since he had wrestled in TPP prior to this. And I'm glad that Melinda Guerrero reached out to him and offered him a contract, or whatever the situation was that happened. I'm glad that it happened the way it did, because I'm glad he's here. And I think, in my mind, I think that he can give Bryson a run for his money. And I mean, we're seeing it now, though. I think Bryson started taking his training a little bit more serious. He's not looking nearly as winded at this point in the match as what he did when he was in his first match, if you remember that, when on the relaunch, when he was gasping after a minute and a half of the match.
Yeah, but in the beginning of this match, when he was attacking him with just the side headlocks, he should have known that he wasn't going to get the pin.
It might not have been that. Like it might not have been that he was trying to get the pin. I think he was just trying to assert his dominance over Jordan Moore, and it didn't pan out completely for him, but Bryson calling Jordan to his feet, and Bryson does not typically go to the top rope. So this is very high risk for Bryson, and Bryson jumps up, misses with a big double action, eats a fist right to the ribs,
This is why you stay on the ground, Bryson. This is why you stay on the ground.
That's why that is high risk for certain superstars, because the superstars that don't go to the top rope, they don't necessarily know the reach that they do or don't have from the top rope, and more off the top rope. And as you see, Jordan seated that drop kick right in the face. I mean, that was perfect. That was picture perfect for that drop kick off the top rope.
I think that was a smack in the face for Bryson. He was like, hey, yeah, let me show you how it's done, bro.
Well, now as you see, Bryson showing his aggressive side here, and I think this is part of the TCO training tutelage type thing, getting your opponent down and clubbing them in the lower back, and then doing push-ups as a sign of disrespect towards Jordan Moore. That's the only reason why Bryson does that. I don't think that Bryson truly disrespects wrestlers as much as he wants to believe he does, but maybe he does. I don't know. We can't read his mind, so we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he can really tell us what's on his mind, if there's anything at all going on.
That is very true. He may have an empty cranium. There's a good chance of that. And Bryson now bringing Jordan into the corner there, followed up by that shoulder thrust. And now Bryson with a series of shoulder thrusts, followed by that clubbing blow right to the small of the back. And that doesn't feel good. Even though these guys are relatively close in weight, when you get a 260-pound man that takes his forearm and smacks it into your back, that doesn't feel good. And now, Bryson with this modified camel clutch here, which Jordan Moore successfully was able to get himself out of, which is good for him. But beautiful springboard crossbody halfway across the ring. That was beautiful. Followed up by a big kick right to the face here. And now wait a second, Jordan has a powerbomb type maneuver. Right into a shoulder breaker, and that'll definitely that could dislocate your shoulder. Into the cover, 1, 2, and a 2 count for Jordan Moore on Bryson as this matchup does continue. And
wait a back and forth match.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to Bryson. He's putting up a pretty good fight here against Jordan Moore. Went for the cover again, and only a 1 count, as Jordan Moore was quickly able to power himself out of that. And Jordan, a succession of strikes, punches, and kicks, knocking Bryson for a loop, and Bryson taking a spill to the outside. Jordan leaps off, but misses as Bryson kind of did like a bob and weave and ducked himself out of the way. That, for Bryson, that was very savvy of him to do that.
It seems like Bryson's a lot smoother this week than he was on the relaunch. So, you know what? I might have to give it to Bryson in this one.
I don't know. It's tough. Like I was telling Wes Steele on Strike Zone, seeing Jordan Moore back in action is great, but a lot has changed, over the course of time, and which I was talking about a few minutes ago with the difference in the training with Die Hard. For Jordan Moore, he was trained with the ruthless Die Hard, the Die Hard that was breaking backs and all kinds of crazy stuff, compared to the Die Hard that we don't know how Die Hard trains now compared to when he was actively competing, and we can imagine what it was like when he was actively competing based on personal accounts from James Braden saying that, jokingly saying that they trained for 23 out of 24 hours a day and stuff like that. But in all reality, I mean, who knows? Since we weren't in TCR ourselves, we don't know their full, training spectrum, but I could imagine that it's probably pretty broad. And, and for Jordan Moore, he was right in the thick of things, because he was there when Die Hard was, getting all his TPP title runs, and he was there during, Brick Wall and Die Hard winning the tag team titles, and when Brick Wall won the $1 Million Championship the first, he was there through all that, so he knows what that was like. But Bryson only knows what it's like with the retired Die Hard. He doesn't know, what it's like, or what it was like back then. I'm pretty sure it was probably more cutthroat at that point in time.
Yeah, the original TCO members, such as Jordan Moore and Brick Wall and Die Hard, those are all the ones that were basically the super ruthless of the group, and then they started obtaining newer TCO members, but I don't think they're as ruthless as the original were.
Yeah. Well, now you see Bryson on the outside here, taking a breather. And as much as I want to say that Bryson's got this, I think Jordan Moore is playing the mind games. He's got a big mental game. He did this to James Braden too. He got James Braden out of his comfort level and played mind games with him and made it so that James Braden was unable to focus. And I think that's what Jordan Moore is doing to Bryson right now. He's making it so Bryson can't focus, and so he's getting, overly aggressive, and he's getting a little sloppy. And right now, the surfboard stretch here, and Bryson, he's trying to get out of it, but Bryson, the strength advantage for Bryson, that was what saved him right there.
Jordan's definitely working on the middle section. He's like picking Bryson apart. He's trying to do every stretch move, it seems like he's just trying to tear something in Bryson. It seems like he's like trying to get him injured, trying to take advantage of what he can actually get a hold of.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's the thing, I think that Bryson's got a very bright future. I really do. I think he's got a great future, wrestling. I just think that he needs to get himself figured out. He needs to figure out what he's gonna do to achieve that. And I don't know. He kind of goes up and down. He's had some impressive victories, and a big spine buster there from Bryson. Like I said, he's had some impressive victories into the cover here. 1, 2. This might. Okay, that was a very close near fall.
Close. That was really close.
And look at Jordan Moore answers it with a spine buster of his own. But Bryson's had some impressive victories. He had when he won the Internet Championship against Damian Gamer, and then he defended it against Jimmy B. Martinez last year. Those were very impressive victories for Bryson, but other than those impressive victories, he hasn't had much impressive victory-wise. It's usually been stolen victories, using a steel chair or, winning by count. A big spear from Jordan Moore off of the ropes.
Brick wall's been around him too much. Whoa.
1, 2, and only a 2 count as somehow Bryson kicked. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that Bryson kicked out. James Braden ate that kind of defeat on Strike Zone. That's how he lost to Jordan Moore. And now, what is Bryson doing here? Bryson looking under the ring, and this is not a no disqualification match, ladies and gentlemen. And Bryson with the steel chair. Oh, right to the back. But Jordan Moore back to his feet, pushed Bryson right out of the ring. Jordan got right back to his feet after that steel chair, and Bryson standing right here in front of us. He's a little timid here. Jordan Moore's just cold stare right now onto Bryson, and for Bryson. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have to take a quick commercial break, so we will be back in just a few moments. Hi, I'm Christopher Billings, the voice of the Power Plant. What is it that the Power Plant offers that no other company offers? A state-of-the-art training facility where wrestlers can utilize their many gifts and many talents to truly evolve and practice and hone their skills, which can then bring them onto a main show roster. But it doesn't come easy. These are trained professional athletes, and the risks are very real. So from everybody in the Power Plant, please do not attempt this at home. Do not attempt this in your backyard on a trampoline. And remember, watching TPP Frontline, it is a lifestyle choice. And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen. And right before the break, we saw Bryson get himself disqualified against Jordan Moore, but we have a debuting tag team tonight. They go by the names of Immortal Fighter and Frag Champ 69. That is the names that they prefer to be called. Their tag team name is Exclusive DLC. And I spoke to these two a little bit earlier today, and these guys love to game. They're big gamers.
Well, this is an interesting couple.
They've got a lot of history together. They've been wrestling a lot together independently, on the independent scene. And so they've got a lot of tag team experience. And their opponents tonight, the Chocolate Drops, Damian Wallace and Tyrone Jennings, this is kind of setting up a structure for possibly who would possibly become the future tag team champions. And And I gotta admit, I love exclusive DLC. I love their look. You know, that they're paying homage to you know, former games like Mortal Kombat. You know, even some of the Call of Duty series stuff. You know, but with that Damian Wallace, Tyrone Jennings with the chocolate drops. This is for exclusive DLC. This is going to be a tall order because, you know, Tyrone Jennings, you know, 280 pounds. You know, he's 6'8", 280. We've got Damian Wallace, who's barely 200 pounds and like 6'3" or 6'2", somewhere in that area. So the chocolate drops, they're a unique tag team in itself. But I'm excited to see what exclusive DLC can do on a main stage instead of just an independent scene. So I'm definitely excited to see what they can do, what they can make happen tonight.
Tyrone Jennings is a big dude.
He's a very, very big man. He's a very strong big man. You know, he talks about how he's only got 12% body fat, and you know, I think I have 12% body fat in like my right leg, maybe. You know, I'm not a wrestler. And look at this right from the get-go. I believe this is Immortal Fighter, and then big running knee there, right to the chin, and followed up. Look at this, a series of backhand chops across the chest, and then right to the bridge of the nose, knocking Damian Wallace down. And this is, you know, the first 15 seconds of the match, and now they're already making a tag here as Frag Champ is now in the match. Frag Champ is in the blue, Immortal Fighter is in the white. So this way, so you can tell the difference, Landon.
I can tell the difference.
And as you see, Frag Champ, beautiful, slowly rotating neck breaker. That was a very slow rotation, you know, getting the blood flow, shifting around in the brain, then dropping them on the back of their skull. But Damian Wallace fighting back here. He's showing he's not afraid, but he's not in a good corner to be in. You want to try to keep your opponent in your corner, you don't want to be in your opponent's corner, because, you know, it's hard to keep offense going when you're not in a neutral corner.
All right. When you see Tyrone Jennings and Damian Wallace, what other tag team does that remind you of? You got a big man and then you got the small man. Well,
and ironically enough, in TPP alone, we also have another big man, small man team. We have Atlas and Travis Porter. But I don't know. It's just, I think it's a unique combination to see these two men. And then, you know, with them both being of African American descent. So, you know, it's a little. And then their theme song even fits. I think that they need a different tag team name, but as you see now, the big man Tyrone Jennings getting tagged in, and we're going to see 280 pounds of physical domination here. I don't. My gosh! Yeah, I don't see Tyrone, I don't see Tyrone Jennings, you know, getting tossed around the ring anytime soon. So, and look at Tyrone sending Immortal Fighter right to the corner. Oh, big clothesline right to the back of the head and the upper shoulder blades.
And you say this tag team, they're what? They're exclusive?
Exclusive DLC. Exclusive DLC is their tag team name, yes.
That's actually pretty nifty. I like how creative, like they came up with that. That's pretty creative. I like that.
Like I said, they're gamers, and they're cool with all the hip kids. And Damian Wallace going for the cover here. The referee was a little slow on that count. We're just now at a 2 count. That might have been a 3. The referee took his time getting in position for that count. I don't remember there being any incidents between the referee and Damian Wallace, so that was a little bit of a slow count there. And I don't know. I mean, this referee may have to get talked to by management backstage. We are an equal opportunity employer. You know, we don't hold prejudice on race, creed, color, sex, sexual orientation, or anything like that. Ooh, big back chop there from Damian Wallace. Again, going for the cover here. 1, 2, and a 2 count again for Damian Wallace. And for the chocolate drops, you know they want this win. I mean, ideally, ideally everybody wants to be the TPP champion, but if you're a tag team competitor, you want the tag team titles.
Yeah, but it didn't. These new debut guys, though, they didn't come out here to be chumps either.
Exactly. You know, they came out here with a look, and they're ready to do business. And Frag Champ here? Ooh, big kick! Right, another kick to the ribs, and now a succession of kicks right to the arm and the right side of the rib there. That definitely does not feel good. Wait a second. What is Frag Champ doing here? Oh, wait, what? He's taking in Immortal Fighter while Damian Wallace is upside down. Ooh! big running elbow drop right to the
That's
right
one
to
way
the
to
chin.
do it.
Into the cover here. 1, 2, and only a 2 count. And Damian Wallace, a flurry of kicks right to the abdomen, and then a kick right across the chest, and that'll definitely put a nice red welt across your chest, no doubt about that. And Damian Wallace going for a roll up here. 1,
I don't think Damian
2.
Wallace is too happy about getting kicked in the ribs now. Is he?
Yeah, exactly. And Damian Wallace trying to fight back, and this is probably the smartest thing Wallace has done all match, getting the big man back into the matchup.
Oh man, he's gonna eat him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly, and this is what they need. They need the big man in here to keep the offense out. For nothing, I'm not trying to take anything away from Damian Wallace, but he's not, the strongest competitor in the ring, physically or even mentally. So he needs the big powerhouse here doing the heavy lifting into that big elbow drop from Tyrone Jennings with the cover. 1, 2. And a 2 count for Jennings.
I'm kind of surprised he could even lift that dude's arm to even try to get out of that. I thought he was going to do bench presses. I wasn't sure.
And now Tyrone Jennings sends Immortal Fighter to the corner the hard way there. Followed up by a modified arm lock, a seated arm lock here on the ground. Just slowly doing the work here. He's not... Tyrone isn't exerting any additional energy, but Frag Champ not having any of that. He didn't want to risk that, and I don't blame him. I mean, a 280-pound man wrenching on your arm will definitely do some damage. And
definitely nothing I want to feel anymore.
Yeah. Now Damian Wallace, the legal man in, a big snapmare. Oh, and then a kick right to the spine. And what is Damian? And wait a second, Damian Wallace saying something to the referee here. Maybe, because of the slow counts that the referee's been giving. As Immortal Fighter is down. Oh no, Immortal Fighter now getting back to his feet here with a side headlock.
Damian, you need to stop worried about what the ref is doing, and you just need to keep beating up on these guys, or you're not going to win this match.
That is very true. And for Damian Wallace, he's got to get something going. And ooh, a big using the ropes and his body as a weapon there, using the ropes as extra leverage with that rope kind of dive move, followed up by that big rotating body splash inside the ring. And now Immortal Fighter, a big dancing elbow drop, dropping the point of the elbow right into the chest. Now tagging in Frag Champ as Damian Wallace started with that big back chop and then a raised knee there. And now Wallace again with another raised knee. And a succession of knees. Oh, in the corner here. But wait a second, Damian Wallace starting to show he's got a little bit of fight left in him. But Frag Champ able to, turn it back around into his favor. And Damian Wallace, just like that, quicker than a hiccup, is, these are all adrenaline weight class wrestlers, so they're very fast. Except for Tyrone Jennings. He's definitely not an adrenaline weight class wrestler. He's like a super heavyweight, so he's, a lot bigger than these guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not going to be as fast as these guys. He's just more of the guy to toss him around the ring and show him who daddy is.
Oh, big sunset flip there into the cover. 1, 2, and a 2 count.
Ooh, that was really close.
Yeah, that was super close. That was very, very close. And now Frag Champ here, another float over neck breaker. And these very frequent tags from, Frag Champ and Immortal Fighter. It's showing that they have great tag team chemistry.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like, they know when to tag in, they know when to tag out, and they're just going to keep using it so they don't, overexert themselves.
Exactly, and as you see, Immortal Fighter there with a flurry of punches right to the side of the skull, and now Immortal Fighter tagging in Frag Champ. And Frag Champ gets over in the corner and pushes the head of Damian Wallace back. Wait a second, he might be setting something up here. Ooh, big kick right to the side of the skull. That'll definitely leave some sting on it, followed up by the big leg drop, hooking the far leg here. 1, 2, and a 2 count, as somehow Damian Wallace, with all the abuse he's taken on his head, he was able to kick out, and that is very impressive.
I almost thought this might have been over for the night. It was pretty close.
No, I thought it was over, no doubt about it. And now a little bit more of that beautiful tag team chemistry from exclusive DLC. A big swanton bomb from the top rope here. And now what is Immortal Fighter, a body senton there. they're picking apart Damian Wallace. Damian Wallace needs to get Tyrone Jennings into the matchup. You know, that's what he needs. He needs to get Tyrone Jennings into this matchup because Tyrone is just he's that raw, unmitigated power that Damian Wallace needs, and right now Damian Wallace is not looking so hot. He's taking a lot of physical damage right now.
Yeah, they're picking him apart right now. If Tyrone doesn't get into, and who knows where this match is going to go from here.
Oh, wait a second. What is Immortal Fighter calling for here? Frag Champ. Oh, that big code breaker to Damian Wallace, and Frag Champ, a stunner on the big man, and just enough to take Tyrone Jennings out into the cover here. 1, 2, 3, and exclusive DLC wins in their debut.
Oh my gosh. Right there. You know, that sets momentum for next week.
That for them, you know, like they came in with a plan. You know, we were talking about the tag team chemistry. They came in with a plan. They knew that they had to get Damian Wallace. They played their cards extremely well tonight. And it didn't even seem like a gamble for them. They knew what they were doing, and that in itself, especially in a tag team environment, is, you know, very, very, very impressive.
That was actually a really great match. I kind of like that. They showed that they were ready to compete tonight, and that's exactly what this company needs, is that drive and ambition.
Exactly, you know, and like you said, drive and ambition, those matched with the ability to wrestle in the ring, those will make things happen for you in your wrestling career. And
especially a huge guy like that.
Yeah. Now up next, this is an interesting match. You know, Nick Virtue, you weren't here on episode 2 last week, but Nick Virtue came in, said he signed a contract with TPP. So then Jerry Graham asked for a match against Nick Virtue, and it was granted to him. So tonight we get to see Jerry Graham versus Nick Virtue. The only other time I've seen these two wrestle was at a house show. I think it was in Pensacola, Florida, and it was last year. You know, and it was right before Jerry Graham got into that big street fight at Urban Warfare with Die Hard, which, you know, Die Hard ended up winning. But it was right before that, and Jerry Graham put up one heck of a fight. You know, we've seen Jerry Graham get eliminated out of the TPP title tournament. You know that's got to set a hurt inside of him. But this is going to be, I guess for Jerry Graham, this is one of those moments where he's thinking to himself, hey, if I can make a good, you know, impact against Virtue tonight, then I'll do very well. And, you know, this is Nick Virtue's technical full-time TPP debut. I mean, we've had him on, you know, on the power plant before, but they were for one-time appearances. He was also at Urban Warfare last year when he was trying to convince Die Hard not to do this match or to do that street fight against Jerry Graham. But Nick Virtue has officially signed a contract with TPP, so we have him indefinitely.
Hey man, I welcome him over here for full time. Hopefully that, you know, we can put on some good shows with him. I heard he's actually really, really good, so I'm hoping to see what he has, what it takes tonight.
Well, the funny thing is with Nick Virtue, he's one of the most entertaining people you can watch. You know, when you watch people wrestle, but he's never been crowned as big-time champions. He's never held the championship anywhere. You know, and it's been a couple of years since his last big full-time stint was anywhere. A lot of them have just been one-time appearances, bouncing, you know, between here and there and here and there. So for Virtue, you know, this has got to be a nice payday that he's getting, you know, coming in full-time. But I'm excited to see what Nick Virtue is going to do tonight against Jerry Graham. I'm excited to see what Jerry Graham's going to do against Virtue. I think that these two are going to have great chemistry in the ring together. I think that this is going to be one of those matches that we're going to be talking about, you know, a year from now, saying that was a really good match on Frontline between Nick Virtue and Jerry Graham.
Hopefully, you know, it's one of those good matches in history that you can just look back at and be like, wow, those guys were really great in the ring together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. And here we go, Nick Virtue, Jerry Graham. I guess, you know, this is their TPP debut against one another. As you see, Jerry Graham bouncing out the ropes there, trying to do a little bit of a psycho, getting himself into the zone here to go against Nick. How do you train for somebody like Nick Virtue? He can come at you from so many different ways. You know, there's no limit to what he can do.
How do you train? you have the, you have to go through trainings of speed and agility and basically endurance, because he can go so fast he can wear you out.
But look at
well,
Jerry Graham's got a size advantage over Virtue, no doubt about that. Jerry Graham using his body mass, using that big shoulder block, going off the ropes, but Nick Virtue responds with a shoulder block of his own, and now Jerry Graham with a shoulder block, and now we're getting the battle of the shoulder blocks here, the battle of the body masses, seeing which body mass is going to win this. And Jerry Graham again, getting the better of the situation. And Jerry Graham about 245 pounds, 250, dependent on the day, and Nick Virtue 220, 225 maybe. So there's a little bit of a weight difference, but Nick Virtue, he's, like you said, he's got that speed and the agility, so he can shut down Jerry Graham. But Jerry Graham using that clothesline to get things in his favor. But Nick Virtue answers back with a flurry of strikes, and big running kick there off the ropes. And Graham catches him with that tilt-a-whirl side slam, hooking the far leg, 1, and a 1 count for Jerry Graham. And this is one of those matches that's going to be hard to call all the action, because Nick Virtue's quick. He's very, very quick. And look at this beautiful standing drop kick from Nick Virtue there to Jerry Graham, hooking the far leg here, but the ropes saved Jerry Graham. And a series of back chops there in the corner on Jerry Graham and Nick Virtue. Another big back chop. Wait a second, Virtue sending Jerry Graham over, and what is Nick Virtue doing here? Right to the fans, and that final big back chop in the corner. That'll definitely leave your chest red, no doubt about that. And a quick, beautiful Hurricane Rana there from Nick Virtue. 2. And the 2 count, a very long 2 count for Jerry Graham. And now Nick going off, sending Jerry Graham to the outside into the barricade. And now Nick Virtue going from the top rope here. Jumps off, but Jerry Graham swatted him away like a fly, followed up by that seated arm breaker on the ground, using his hips as his weapon. And I gotta ask you, Landon, because when you wrestled in the much smaller weight class, so it was much like Nick Virtue's weight class of about 215, 220 pounds. What was it like going against these bigger guys? When they hit you, what was it like getting hit by like a 250-pound man?
Just think of somebody throwing like a rock at your face. You're definitely not gonna enjoy it, but to only get the job done is try to endure the pain and not cry. So basically you just got to take what comes to you, try to absorb them like a sponge, because if not, you're not going to win.
Fair enough. I could definitely agree with that. I think if I was to be a wrestler and I was wrestling against, somebody a lot bigger than me, I couldn't imagine, that kind of pain, but I think I'd be able to tolerate it to an extent, because I know it's all about the fans getting entertainment. And look at this cattle mutilation submission hold here from Nick Virtue on Jerry Graham, and Graham's got to find a way to get out of this, which, as you can tell, his arms are hyperextended backwards, but Jerry Graham, the strength factor, able to get out, big kick right to the back of the head of Nick Virtue there. And now
those punches to the face.
Exactly, a series of big rights from Jerry Graham, and Jerry Graham's got to get. This has been a very aggressive, back and forth match between these two. I've seen some very physically demanding matches, but this has been one of those matches where they're literally a tit for tat. They're literally, hey, you're going to do this, and then I'm going to hit you with this instead. That's what these guys are doing right now, and it's very impressive.
This looks like they've had like a feud or something going on in the back or something. They're not holding anything back.
Kick. Look at that was a beautiful setup from Nick Virtue there on the outside. Big right hand. Yeah, like you said, though, it seems as if there's some professional hostility between these two, and as far as I knew, there wasn't. But maybe I'm not told everything after all.
I guess not. Those punches to the face, he gave him a couple, and then he was just like, you know what? I'll throw you to the ropes and hit you too. Jeez.
And Nick Virtue jumps in with that big cross body, and as you hear, the TPP universe is saying this is awesome. in the background here. They're loving this matchup. This is what it ideally what it's about to be, a TPP wrestler. You know, going out here, giving the best you can, and Nick Virtue just getting himself fired up here. A flurry of chest chops followed by that jumping, and that's Ryan Cavallari. And in the ring we've got Nick Virtue, you know, doing moves on. It looks like Ryan Cavallari's sitting next to us here. I'm not sure why he's here. I don't remember receiving an email of a new signee recently, so I'm not really sure why he's here. Meanwhile, in the ring, Jerry Graham, a big clothesline to Nick Virtue, as maybe Ryan Cavallari just wants a bird's eye view of, you know, what's happening between Nick Virtue and Jerry Graham. But Jerry Graham setting up. He might be looking for his triple powerbomb here, and there's one powerbomb from Jerry Graham, and the second powerbomb, and now Jerry Graham with the third powerbomb, and you got to believe he might be looking for the saving grace. And oh no, Jerry Graham switches it with a rotating neck breaker there. I thought for sure Jerry Graham was looking for the saving grace. I think that momentary distraction from Ryan Cavallari may have kind of messed up Nick Virtue a little bit there. Off the ropes, and quick super kick from Nick Virtue right to the chin. 1, 2, 3, and thanks for coming, Jerry Graham. Go ahead and eat a foot from Nick Virtue.
Oh my God, man, braces is probably going to be needed after this one. This is terrible. Is his teeth still there?
We may have seen, I don't know, I think I saw a tooth fly out into the third row. Oh man, Jerry Graham just got his jaw jacked, and Ryan Cavallari is still, he's standing over here at our commentary table now. He's not sitting down anymore, and he never put on a headset, so I'm not sure what he's doing out here. He's just kind of looking at Nick Virtue right now, and it's like I don't want to say a cold stare. It's kind of like a disapproval stare, like he's not impressed. And I don't understand. I don't even understand why Ryan Cavallari's here right now. And now we're seeing Nick Virtue finally locked eyes with Cavallari here, and as you see, they've locked eyes with one another. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have to take a quick commercial break. We're going to take one more break, so we will be back in just a few moments. So just sit tight, guys. I don't know what is going on with Ryan Cavallari and Nick Virtue. We'll be right back.
Let's go sim style. Let's go sim style. Let's go sim style. Competitive sucks. Competitive sucks. Competitive sucks. Competitive sucks. Competitive sucks. Competitive sucks.
Bryson, what the hell were you thinking getting yourself disqualified against Jordan Moore? Look, tomorrow night on Strike Zone, we've got a tag team match, okay? And your tag team partner is going to be a former member of TCO. a powerhouse of all powerhouses. He's going to make sure that you win. All right? So that's what you need to focus on. Focus on tomorrow night. Forget about Jordan Moore. All right? Just focus on tomorrow.
Well, so Die Hard just announced that there's going to be a tag team title match, or not a tag team title match, but a tag team match tomorrow night on Strike Zone. That's going to have Bryson with a former TCO member. I'm curious to know who that's going to be, but we won't know that until tomorrow night. But tonight, right now, we have Mark Lester versus Lance Owens. And, you know, on Strike Zone, Mark Lester got ran through by Damian Gamer. It was a tough loss for Mark Lester. So you got to believe tonight he's trying to hopefully make up for that going against Lance Owens.
How do you think he feels tonight? You think he feels pumped and ready to take this on, or you think his morale's gone down since he lost?
Well, I want to, you know, because, you know, Mark Lester is a former school teacher, and when he was teaching in school, he was always trying to deliver a positive message. So I would hope that Mark Lester is taking his own advice and is trying to deliver a positive message. But I mean, when you get ran through by your opponent like that, I can only imagine the morale, the lowering of your morale that it brings on when something like that happens. I could only imagine. Like, I'm not a wrestler, so I don't know the full psyche of the mental conditioning. But I know if here would be a good example. If I was to get yelled at before coming out here to do commentary for one of the shows, you know, that would make me feel, that would set the tone and make me feel very upset or angry while I was doing my broadcast. So I mean, I guess in that sense, I don't know. It's just, I think that he may be a little down on himself, and Lance Owens is looking to make his big impact as well. And ironically, they're both wearing blue, which, you know, Frontline's colors are blue. So that's great. You know, Frontline, they're both wearing blue. I love it.
Oh yeah, patriotic.
That's right.
Let's go.
Very patriotic for the show. And I don't know. I mean, it's just, I think this is going to be one of those matches that'll be relatively good. I mean, Mark Lester, when I spoke to him, you know, earlier this week, he said that he would like another opportunity to face Damian Gamer to show him that it was just a fluke. But, you know, I don't know if you know, Damian Gamer even wants to get into another match with him. So here we go, Mark Lester versus Lance Owens. Mark Lester in the blue and Lance Owens in the blue. Lance Owens with the yellow or the blondish colored hair. Mark Lester with the short brown hair. So this should definitely be a good. Oh, quick uppercut there from Mark Lester into the cover here. Not even a 1 count. And again, he might just be trying to, you know, insert his authority here. I mean, who's built bigger? Definitely Mark Lester. Mark Lester's built like a extremely powerful young man. You know, he has an amazing physique, and like me and Landon Miles were, or excuse me, not Landon Miles, but me and Wes Steele were talking. Why he chose to be a wrestler, we do not know. He's got an amazing physique, though. He's got an amazingly good-looking wrestler's physique, but he's such a nice man. You know, he's so nice backstage. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him yet or not, Landon, but if you do get the opportunity to talk to Mark Lester, he loves to talk about world events. So, and look at this. This is the strength of Mark Lester picking up his opponent by his leg, you know, and just wrenching that, kind of like a leg Boston crab, using his neck and his head as the tool that he uses to lift. And Mark Lester side gut wrench suplex there, and off the ropes. And Mark Lester got caught. Big German suplex from Lance Owens, and that'll definitely help to set the tone. And Owens runs through Mark Lester there, and now a big jumping knee attack, and that'll definitely rattle your insides a little bit, followed up by a second one.
He's going to town on him right now. Like, he's like trying to show, you know, basically like, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get this job done, and there's nothing you can do about it kind of attitude.
Exactly, and I always talk about this, but it's very important as a wrestler, you know, to always give 110% when you're in the ring. That's probably one of the most important things I think anybody would ever learn when they're wrestling, is always give 110%. You don't want to go out there and only give half, you know. And now you see Mark Lester here with a beautiful seated dragon sleeper right here on the ground.
Oh.
This puts a lot of strain on the back of your neck, on your chest, your torso. and it restricts your airflow to your brain. And Mark Lester, unable to keep it locked in on Lance Owens, and Owens counters with a big elbow right to the jaw.
He's pretty strong, man. Because I don't know, I might have fallen asleep because he had that pretty tight. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. It seemed like.
Well, part of that might be because Lance Owens is from Nebraska, so he's got the steel chin of TPP, so he can take quite an amount of punches and kicks and stuff right to the head and still be okay. So that, in that sense, for Lance Owens, I mean, he's a gifted athlete. He needs to get that big break, and same with Mark Lester and a lot of wrestlers. They just need to get that one big opportunity. And a near fall for Lance Owens there.
Wow, that was really early in the match to get a 2 count. Is he wearing him out already?
Well, as you saw, I mean, Mark Lester, that big backdrop followed up by that leg drop, and Mark Lester's physique is so impressive, physically impressive, and beautiful power slam there from Mark Lester into the cover here. 1, 2, and a 2 count for Mark Lester on Lance Owens.
Oh, they're wearing each other down, it seems like already.
Exactly. Mark Lester now starting to calculate his attacks on the head. And I don't know, it's just when I think of future wrestlers that will be main event wrestlers, I think of people like Mark Lester or Lance Owens or anybody for that matter. Anybody can do it. All they have to do is, they just got to make it happen.
Well, I think Mark's got an advantage for the fact of being a teacher. He can probably think on his feet pretty quickly throughout his knowledge of wrestling. I think he'd be a pretty good person if he just keep, doing what he does and every week just learning from his mistakes. I'm pretty sure he'd be a really, really outstanding wrestler here in TPP.
I definitely agree. And Mark Lester there with that big raised knee lift. And a knee lift isn't going to do anybody any favors when you get kneed in the face. 1, 2, after that double underhook kind of bridging pin there. And Lance Owens with a big backdrop. And now Lance Owens getting the TPP universe behind him. As you saw, the fans were getting on their feet for Lance Owens. And Lance Owens is probably one of the most loved, underbooked, wrestlers in TPP. He gets passed up for a lot of big opportunities, but that big backbreaker is not going to pass up any opportunities. He's going for the cover. This may be it. 1, 2, and oh my God.
I like watching this Lance Owens guy because he shows a lot of heart in what he does, though. Like, because he's not going to give up, and he's pretty strong. I mean, you saw how he just tossed Mark Lester over his head. He shows who's boss.
That is very true. That is very, very true. And I'm not sure what Mark Lester's. Mark Lester's got to pull something big out of his bag of tricks here. He's got to hit that big move. He's to put away a match. We haven't seen Mark Lester actually pick up a win yet, so we don't know what that big move is. And Mark Lester here, a float over rotating suplex.
Oh, that looked like it really hurt.
Into the cover. 1, 2. Then almost a 3 count, but Owens still able to get out. And you got to wonder, for Mark Lester, he's wondering what's it going to take? What's it going to take to put even somebody like Lance Owens away? So for Mark Lester, he's kind of gripping at straws here. He's got to figure something out. And Lance Owens, big clothesline, big left arm clothesline, sending Mark Lester to the mat. And that definitely doesn't feel good.
Can he do it? Can he connect? Can he?
Jumps off. Oh, big double axe handle there. Right to the top of the skull into cover 2, and another 2 count. And this matchup, surprisingly, has had quite a bit of back and forth, and another big backdrop from Mark Lester. As Mark Lester's trying to, like I said, he's got to figure something out. He's got to figure out what his big move is, and he's got to be able to do it. And for Mark Lester, like I said, I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody knows yet what his finishing maneuver is. And Mark Lester, another big running neck breaker there.
Well, I would like to see that tonight. I would like to actually see what his finisher could actually be for the night. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm curious to know as well. Well, it looks like Lester's calling Owens to his feet. And let's see, Mark Lester, quick kick to the abdomen. He's got a suplex. A beautiful fisherman suplex with a beautiful bridge on it. 2, 3. Oh, wow.
3. Oh.
A fisherman suplex was his big move. Although it seems like it may be a basic wrestling maneuver, that does get the job done. Mark Lester picks up one heck of a impressive victory tonight against Lance Owens. I think that was the victory that Mark Lester needed to get himself on track the right way again.
Yeah, Mark Lester, be happy about that.
That's
right.
Be
happy about that.
It looks like Mark Lester's calling for a microphone here, so this is interesting. Mark Lester's going to also not only debut his new finisher, but speak as well, so let's see what he's got to say.
Damien Gamer, I just want you to know that I appreciate the beating that you gave me on Strike Zone last time, but I want to challenge you to a rematch. I want to show you exactly why I went from being a teacher to being a professional wrestler, because that's what I do. My name is Mark Lester and Damien Gamer. If you accept, please let me know.
Short and sweet words from Mark Lester challenging Damien Gamer. He wants to wrestle him again. I don't know. I would like to see it.
For sure. Like, I mean, he was actually nice about it, though.
Yeah.
He wasn't upset.
He just said that he enjoyed the beating he got, and he would like one more opportunity to prove his worth, and that is very impressive. You know, he did it in a very professional manner. But now it's the main event time. This man, Scythe, like me and you were talking about on the relaunch, Scythe is quite possibly the total package. But his challenge tonight is a huge obstacle in Cerberus. We're talking 150, 175 pound difference between these two. You know, Scythe weighs, I think Scythe weighed in this morning at like 256, 257. So, I mean, he's still got some weight, but Cerberus is he's, I think, 370 or 380 was his weigh in this morning. So, I mean, okay, so maybe it wasn't 175, there's about 115 pound difference between the two of these guys. This is like putting somebody that's a heavyweight against one of our adrenaline division wrestlers. That's how uneven the weight is wise in this matchup. And I don't like Scythe's odds, but I also don't like Cerberus's odds, because, you know, Scythe is in TCO. He's got TCO backing. So, you know, if things aren't going his way, TCO will come down to the ring to help him. But for Cerberus, you know, things aren't good for Scythe, because Cerberus is such a big man. He could hurt you in so many different ways. And, you know, Scythe is getting ready to find out firsthand what it's like to face Cerberus. And this is going to be one of those things I don't think that Scythe is going to like too much.
I think there's one big question of what's going to happen tonight. Is Scythe going to be marked?
Exactly, yeah. Is Scythe going to become one of the marked ones? Because this is the final match to find out who is going to be competing for the TPP title. We know that Adam D. Whitmore is competing for the TPP title at Reckoning. It's either going to be Cerberus or Scythe that competes against Adam D. Whitmore. And that is huge. That's...
I'm going to say Cerberus. Nothing against Scythe.
I'm going to agree with you.
Nothing against Scythe. Scythe's a good competitor and everything, but Cerberus eats horses for breakfast.
Exactly. Cerberus is such a big man, and so I'm compelled to agree with you on that. I think that I think Cerberus will become the other #1 contender, and I think we're looking at the next TPP champion, and I think that is going to be Cerberus. As you see, he's telling Scythe to just come on and bring it, and just running Scythe over with a big boot. You know, at the first, what was that, 5 seconds of the match?
Yeah, he just needs to lay down. Just lay down.
Well, the thing is, Cerberus is such a big, powerful man, and he's not like one of those reckless, powerful men. He's very calculating with what he does. I mean, he looks for your body parts, for the body parts he wants to take out, and he gets them. And again, just going to work right on the lower back. You know, that was 3 consecutive moves to the small of the back and the spine, and Cerberus wasn't showing any signs of backing away, but Scythe stepping up there, and now Scythe picking the leg with a quick dragon screw. And see, that's what Scythe
one way to get the job done.
Yeah,
you don't have to use a lot of, you know, like if you're forced to throw a man to the ground by their leg, try to keep him on the ground.
Well, that's the one thing about Scythe. He's able to adapt. He's always able to adapt, and that's something very impressive about Scythe. But like we were saying, you know, I mean, maybe it would be wiser for Scythe to just live to wrestle another day, because the big man is going to cause some pain tonight, I believe. And I don't know if Scythe is ready for that kind of pain.
I definitely wouldn't be ready for that kind of pain. But as you can tell, Scythe's bigger than me, so he can probably endure a lot more pain than I was able to endure. So, like, you know what? If he wins here tonight, I will be shocked. I will be totally and utterly shocked.
Oh, I will as well. I mean, we've seen the domination, and you know, this is, we're only on episode 3, but we've seen the early domination that Scythe is able to do, but we've seen it more frequently from Cerberus. You know, very little offense is usually done against Cerberus, and then Cerberus just starts tearing you apart into the cover here. 1, 2, and a 2 count for Cerberus.
That was really close.
And see, Scythe, he's got to figure out a way to single out. He was talking about singling out the legs of Cerberus earlier. He's got to single out those legs and then, you know, do as much damage as he can. And this is one heck of a good way to do it. Getting on top of the knees, jumping up, and ooh, smashing both of those knees right into the mat. That is not going to do you any favors for trying to walk around.
Man, Cerberus sure can't say that he dominated this match tonight, because it's back and forth. Like, Cerberus has not been able to capitalize on him in the last couple of moves that's been done.
Exactly.
He's getting kicked around right now.
But that's one thing about Scythe. You can't ever count Scythe out, but you can't count Cerberus out either, as you saw that big spine buster, you know, and that just...
I think he heard me.
Yeah, exactly. And now Cerberus sending Scythe into the ropes, catches him, another spine buster, again singling out the lower back. You know,
he's trying to cripple him. He's trying to make sure he's not going to be able to get up.
And look at Cerberus into the cover, 2, and only a 2 count, as, you know, just the will and determination of Scythe. I think that's what's keeping him alive in this matchup. He's got that will and determination. He wants to get his title opportunity, and I applaud Scythe for that, you know, because he's been booking and doing everything he's got to do here in TPP. He just was never offered a big title opportunity, and this is his big. If he can win here tonight against Cerberus, then he will, you know, be involved in the TPP title match at Reckoning. And I think that Cerberus and Adam D. Whitmore can have a really good match. But if we see Cerberus win, I meant to say Scythe and Adam D. Whitmore. If we see Cerberus win, then we're going to see, like I said, we'd be looking at our next TPP champion. Who can really stop Cerberus? If Scythe can't stop Cerberus, who can?
Good question.
Exactly. It's a very short list of people with names that we can come up with, and Cerberus now just turning it around. And look at, and Cerberus is so tall. Every move he does, where he lifts you off the ground, you're elevated in almost an additional 2 feet above like what the normal elevation of that move would be. You know, because Cerberus is such a tall, overbearing man, and his body build. It's not fat. It's muscle. It's like pure muscle, and that's what's so scary about it. He's got so much muscle. He could do so much damage, and Cerberus now into the cover. 1, 2, and another 2 count for Cerberus. And as you see, Cerberus starting to get a little angry, but Scythe responds with a big right hand. And
it looks like there's a lot of hatred in this match.
Oh,
Somebody's trying to do things.
Well, Cerberus is looking spectacular, but I gotta hand it to Scythe. He is, and using the ropes as a way to get Cerberus over in that power slam 1, and only a 1 count though, as Cerberus was still too strong, you know, to keep down, and now Cerberus sending Scythe back into the corner. A big shoulder thrust, and when you see that shoulder thrust happen, it doesn't look very impactful, but can you imagine what it's like having a 370+ pound man running his shoulders into your ribs? I can only imagine what that felt like. And a modified head smash there in the corner. 1, 2, and a 2 count. For
I thought it was the 3. I
did too. I thought maybe Cerberus was, you know, kind of like on a flash KO there, as Cerberus using his own weight, knocking himself and Scythe to the outside.
Whoa, Cerberus caught himself.
Yeah.
Don't see that often.
Yeah, the big man. The big man Cerberus, surprisingly very agile, you know, for his size and his weight, but he knows his ring presence very well. He's very comfortable, you know, with what he has to do, and that's good. That's good for him, though. That's very good. And now Cerberus sending Scythe into the barricade the hard way there. And Cerberus, a series of big right hands to the skull of Scythe. And now what's Cerberus going to do? Cerberus now, a big side slam. The referee's still counting. You know, there's a 10 count here that can be utilized. But Cerberus spilling to the outside, forcing the referee to restart his count here. And now Cerberus sending Scythe back in the hard way there. And for Cerberus, you know, like that's the thing. Like Cerberus is so tall, he has to get in over that top rope, which allowed Scythe enough time to, you know, kind of get something going back in his favor. And Scythe here, off the ropes. Oh, big running kick right to the ribs. Going for the cover here and the rope break, saving Cerberus there. And now
the ref needs to eject that nun.
Oh, I wouldn't call you don't want to be marked by Cerberus, by the minions of Cerberus, do you? I know I don't want to.
I don't care. He needs to just get off the side of the rope.
I believe that is Preterius.
Oh, they got names?
Yeah, there's Preterius, Stenda, or no, this is Posterum. This is Posterum. I'm sorry. Posterum is, I believe, a remembrance of, I think, the future or the past. I don't know. I have to go back to my notes and look, but they all have, there's past, present, and future. And that's what they all mean. And, oh, big clothesline there from Cerberus, as Cerberus is taking control of Scythe here.
Do these guys control Cerberus, or?
The reason that the story behind it is they accompany Cerberus to the ring to allow him focus. To allow him to
focus.
Yep, so that he doesn't have uncontrolled, you know, rage inside the ring. And, you know, that would make sense, you know, but it's rumored that if one of his managers gets distracted or is not at ringside, that Cerberus is, you know, unaware of what to do. I mean, the TPP universe doesn't hear it, but you can, throughout the match, you can hear the manager yelling at Cerberus what to do, you know, giving him commands of, you know, what he needs to follow up with. So if his manager isn't available, you know, if he's away from the ringside, then, you know,
then Cerberus is basically nothing.
Well, he may not be nothing. I mean, he's still a very big man, you know, and physically strong. I'm sure he's still physically strong, but he just may not be as aware of what to do. And Scythe now, off the ropes, two big right hands there. And now Scythe starting to, you know, try to get something going in his favor. He's trying to, you know, take Cerberus out here. Scythe off the top rope, big double axe handle there. Going into the cover. One, two. And only a 2 count. Yeah, somehow, some way. But Cerberus he's not letting up. And Scythe not letting up. This is the Scythe that we know. You know, he keeps the pressure on. After that big right hand going for the cover, 2 and another 2 count. This is probably the longest match that Cerberus has ever been in. I don't think I've
never seen Cerberus really struggle this much yet. So, like, this is actually pretty interesting. I can definitely say that Scythe is a great competitor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hands down, Scythe is an amazing competitor, but I think you can only take so many of those gut-wrench power bombs from Cerberus before you just can't do it anymore. Oh, wait a second. What is Cerberus? Cerberus went to the top rope for something. I wasn't sure what he was thinking about doing.
I was like, dude, he's a big man.
Yeah. Normally we don't see the big man, you know, take those kind of risks. And Cerberus here, big leg drop right on the apron. That'll definitely put some sting on you. And now Cerberus going for the cover here. 1, 2. And you gotta believe if Cerberus might have went for the cover just a few moments earlier, that might have been it. I mean, Scythe barely got his shoulders up off the mat. He barely, and the big nose clip, and, you know, shades of that TCO training. But Cerberus turns it right around back into his favor. That gut kick will stop any momentum that you have. Now, big chop right to the side of the skull.
But you hear his ear is ringing.
Oh, no doubt about it. You got the big man just. You got to imagine that hand is like the size of a frying pan.
He just pimp smacked him like it was bad.
And now Cerberus, what is Cerberus going to do here? Ooh, big shoulder thrust. And now Cerberus sending Scythe into the corner. Oh, I thought for it looked like there was a lot more momentum on it, but Scythe was able to put on the brakes and take some of the impact. And now Cerberus sending Scythe into the far corner. And wait a second, Cerberus going to the top rope, very uncharacteristic, big spear. Oh, wait, why is Bryson's theme song playing?
Oh no! Are you serious?
Oh, wait a second, Bryson is calling Posterum up, and Scythe out of nowhere with the Reaper's cut. This may be it. Posterum starting to walk up the entrance ramp. Cerberus, we were just talking about Cerberus manager being distracted.
Yeah.
Cover 1, 2, and almost a 3 count, but somehow,
I thought it was done. I thought he was going to forget to kick out.
I thought so too. And Posterum is just staring at Bryson, who's up at the top of the entrance ramp here, as Cerberus sending Scythe, halfway across the ring. This is intense. Wait a second, Cerberus is setting up for the Bound for Hades clothesline. This has got to be it. The Bound for Hades clothesline there. But wait a second, instead of Cerberus going for the cover, he's heading up the ramp with Posterum, as he's a little bit slower than Posterum. And wait a second, what is Bryson doing? Wait a second, Bryson, a big rock bottom to Posterum.
Oh!
He's trying to get Cerberus to come up the stage towards him. And last time on Frontline we saw Bryson, get eliminated by countout. Thanks to James Braden, and the referee's still counting. And Cerberus is up on the stage here checking on Posterum. Meanwhile, this matchup's still going on. And Scythe is back to his feet now. He's in the ring, trying to taunt Cerberus, and Cerberus is starting to head back down. But
He's make it in the ring in time?
I don't think he will. I mean, the referee's already. I think the referee's up to a 9 count, and Cerberus is still a few. He's still a ways away, and that's a 10 count. The referee's gonna ring the bell. So Cerberus just won, or Scythe just won by countout, and Cerberus is just now getting to ringside. That was an elaborate plan from TCO. As you see, Cerberus does not look too impressed.
I can't say that, Bryson really ruined it for him, because Bryson didn't touch Cerberus.
That is true. He only went after Posterum, and
Cerberus probably could have had this, but he decided to go